Tony not standing up for Ryan last night was very telling and highly disappointing. I would have stood up just to prove a point. Love Island UK episode 21. It's the aftermath of the dates, and Meg is a lot calmer than expected. That means something's brewing. She's just saying, Dijon always does this after dates. He doesn't pull me for chats. He doesn't tell me how the date went. He just says, oh, it was fine, and doesn't give me any information. And Meg constantly keeps saying, look at her, she's stunning, look at her. Like, she knows that Billy Kiss is absolutely, like, breathtakingly beautiful. Anybody would think that if you liked somebody as much as Dijon claims he likes her, the first thing that you would do is pull them for a chat and reassure them, oh, the date was really great, she's lovely, she's nice, she's funny, but I was thinking about you the whole time, or whatever else. You wouldn't just avoid them. Harrison told Tony that he kissed Helena, and she is pissed. And she says, oh, you never do that in front of me. Obviously he's not going to do it in front of her, because he knows how she reacts when he tells her when she wasn't even there. And she's like, oh, you're a pussy, or whatever else. And he's like, no, no, no. And she's like, well, do it in front of me then. And she obviously wants him to do it in front of her, so that she can either just say, I'm done, for the 5 millionth time, or she can get up and go off her head. And if you really think about it, he hasn't been kissing Tony in front of Helena either. He hasn't been kissing Tony at all. So Tony's like, oh, you kissed her the day before my birthday? And he says, oh, the timing's unfortunate. The timing was going to be unfortunate regardless. So she storms off, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. That should be, literally, that could be her theme song. Let's make it happen. This is not the first time she says I'm done. It's not going to be the last time. I don't know how many times she said it in this episode, but at the end of the episode we can clearly see that she isn't in fact done. Shakira and Tony were bitching about Harrison and Helena, and they're like, oh, they're not going to last. Obviously they're not going to last. The two of them must be sitting there thinking, what the fuck is going on with Helena? She's trying to get into these two men that the two of them like. It's just such a bizarre situation. Billy Kiss pulled Connor for a chat. I don't really feel any chemistry there, to be quite honest with you. But then Meg, Helena and Dijon were all sitting chatting, and they're trying to get information out of him about the date, and he's just like, oh, it was a good date. Like talking to a fucking wall. And then Billy Kiss comes over and pulls him for a chat. And Meg's like, oh, great timing. Awkward as fuck. They go to the fire pit, and Meg goes, oh, that's great, we can listen for here. And Dijon is like, oh, you're a beautiful girl, you're funny. Like, I can feel the chemistry between them. I don't get any chemistry between him and Meg whatsoever. It's so forced, it's unbelievable. And I think that Billy Kiss and Dijon actually really like each other. Well, as much as you can like a person in less than 24 hours. They definitely want to go into the hideaway and bang. But once again, Billy Kiss is sitting talking to Dijon, and he's just sitting there like, with this fucking look on his face. And she says, oh, you keep looking at me and not saying anything. And he says, oh, you're good to look at, or I like looking at you. Meanwhile, my Meg's over in the corner fucking trying to listen in. Ryan pulls Shakira for a chat, and I'm thinking, there has been a massive switch up here. At the date, she was really flirty, laughing away. I didn't feel any chemistry between the two of them, but it was totally different. She was just kind of talking to him, like, not interested whatsoever. Obviously because Harry's in the villa and she doesn't want to do that in front of him. And also because she's not actually interested. Harrison pulled Helena for a chat, and he says, oh, I told Tony that we kissed. And he was kind of holding her hand, and like, it looked as if he was kind of going in for the kiss. And Shakira and Tony were looking over like, oh, they're holding hands. And Tony's just like, I'm done. I'm done. Sure. So then Helena and Harrison go away to some other bit of the villa, like a wee seating bit. And he's like, oh, we can kiss or like whatever. And they're lying cuddling. And he says, oh, we can be here like out of prying eyes for 10 minutes. And then the next thing, Tony walks up. And she sits up and she's like, oh, why are you scared? Like, why are you scared? You're the one who sat up away from him. Now, personally, if I was Harrison, I would have went out my way to then kiss Helena when she was walking up, because she was the one who says to him, why don't you kiss her in front of me? You're a pussy. And I'd have thought, oh, I'm a pussy. Let's see then. But no, he still didn't kiss Helena, therefore proving Tony's point that he is in fact a pussy. Helena goes up to talk to Tony and she's just like, girl, bye. She's done. The next day is Tony's birthday and Harrison writes her a note, and I must admit I did feel sorry for her, right? Nobody likes to have to deal with any shit in their birthday. But Tony's like, right, talking to Shakira, number one, I will not be in a love triangle. I will not be second choice. If you can't make a decision, I'll make it for you. Now, I must admit, when she previously spoke to Harrison and walked away and said, I'm done, it should have been left at that, because that would have been her actually saying and showing that she was done. But instead, she wanted to pull him for another chat for no reason whatsoever. So she goes up to him and asks him to go to the terrace, and Shakira's like, oh, ask him, like, as if, like, do you want to come to the terrace? Like, he must have known, right? Why walk him all the way up there to prove a point? The bigger point would have been, just don't speak to me again, and that'd have been it. But they go up to the terrace and he's like, oh, you joking or whatever? And Shakira's like, burn it, burn it. It was already burned. It should have been over by now. So she pulls him up to the terrace and she's like, oh, we're done. Right, great. I just fucking walked up all these stairs for no reason. You already told me it was done, so does that mean that last night you were sitting thinking that it wasn't done? What was the point? But Harrison is such a fucking child. He's like, oh, did the food not make you feel better? No. You've been playing me like a fucking fool for days. You've been kissing the other girl that you're interested in and not kissing me. You've been treating me like an absolute dick and thinking that you can do whatever you want. You've been blatantly lying to my face. No. Food didn't make me feel better. Your fucking shite pancakes didn't make me feel better. Your fucking stupid wee letter didn't make me feel better. Get to fuck. Harry and Shakira were chatting on the terrace, and he was saying, I want to make you happy, I want to do right by you, and all this fucking shit that he talks, right? And he says, oh, honestly, I think that you're too good for me. This is the tactics that they use, right? And she's sitting going, oh no, I think you're perfect for me. And I just couldn't help but think about me in the past when I was younger, and I was maybe dating somebody who I was too good for, right? And I would think, no, you're great, you're amazing, like, don't listen to yourself, don't listen to other people, you're so great. And I try and go through life thinking every human being is equal. Nobody's better than anybody else. And that is true to a certain extent, but when it comes to relationships, sometimes people can be too good for other people. And in this case, Shakira is too good for him. Almost any woman on the planet is too good for him. He's a fucking skis bag. I can't stand him. Same with Ben. Literally just like, they're too good for them. Harrison's now trying to say that he misses Tony. No, he just misses two women chasing after him because he's a fucking child. Alima and Ben were kissing on the terrace, and I was like, oh, come on to fuck Alima. You know that he is a dick. You know that he doesn't treat women right. You know that he's an arsehole. Why are you entertaining this? So they get a text telling them to go to the fire pit, and I thought, oh, it's time for the bombshells to choose. She's probably going to pick Dijon. He's probably going to pick Shakira. This is going to be dramatic. Unfortunately, it was not dramatic whatsoever. The Islanders had to stand up for the bombshell that they wanted. Connor stood up for Billy Kiss. It was like, right, okay, they've been on a date, fine, no drama, whatever. Him and Alima are in a friendship couple anyway. When it came time to stand for Ryan, I thought, nobody's interested in him, nobody's going to stand up. But if I was Tony, I would have stood up just to prove a point, just to put the fucking fear of God into Harrison, because now Alima's standing up there and everybody's thinking she's vulnerable, is she going to go home? If she was done with Harrison, she could have just said, do you know what, me and Ryan don't have a connection, but neither do me and Harrison. So I'm willing to try and build on him. Me and Harrison are fucking dead in the water. But no, she fucking sat there and Alima and Ryan went home. Now I must admit, I didn't want Alima to go home, but if going home gets her away from Ben, then it's the best place for her. Ryan was in the villa for like 24 hours. He wasn't really given a chance, but I really think it would have been better if the bombshells got to choose and then they sent their partners home. Can you imagine it? Harry would have went home and Meg would have went home. That would have been a shock. That would have been like, what the fuck? There would have been tears. People would have been snotting all over their faces. It would have been so dramatic. They missed out on something good there. But let me know what you thought of last night's episode, and I'll see you again tonight. Bye!